Paul Heyman, he drew first blood saying stuff about, hockey players being figure skaters and drinking out of a cup. And
we do have that, by the way. Paul Heyman.
So everybody knows I ain't picking no fight. I'm just standing here as that, you come into the D. But what is that? Can you read that?
Yeah, so Paul Heyman sent out a tweet yesterday, unprovoked, by Darren McCarty. This was Paul Heyman's own. Paul Heyman said, you know what was funny about this tweet? I could hear him. I could hear him saying this.
I kept replacing it in his voice.
I will make this so simple, someone from Detroit can understand it. Number one, hockey is not a sport. It's figure skating for men who need to overcompensate with a name for their activity. Number two, Darren McCarty needs to acknowledge his tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
Now, let me address, Paul Heyman in today's NHL. You might have a point. We might have a conversation of the digression of the sport, but that's a conversation you need to have between him and Gary Bettman. As far as your tribal chief, yeah, we'll see. But I tweeted back, and I said, Mr. Heyman, don't you think Mr. Reigns and even Mr. McMahon himself should acknowledge me for allowing you to have WWE and Raw at LCA? So maybe they're coming out to say thank you to me, Neal, for allowing them to be there. So, the house that we built. Because I don't think Stevie's going to be there, so I'm the wrestling rep for the team. So it's like it's a McKaiser plan when the wrestling comes to town. So we'll see tonight. It's early. There's a lot of games left. But is this something that has exceeded your expectations so far, or is it right where you thought you guys could be?
Yeah, I didn't come here to not compete. Kind of tail end of my career, I'm not going to show up somewhere and kind of be in the bottom of the league. So when I came here, I was under the expectations that we were going to compete. And I think Trevor, obviously, he told me that. He said, we have the team to do something, really big here. So my expectations were high, and honestly, they've been exceeded by the players. And now we're going into a stretch of games now that are super important. We play a Birmingham team who's supposedly top of the league. They, you look at all the percentage of playoff percentages and stuff, they're supposed to be at the top. They haven't done so well so far, but they're a good team. And then we play Columbus on Tuesday, which is an MLS team. So that's going to put us in a situation where we're competing against the best in the U.S. And if we're able to do something, kind of special on Tuesday, then we're really putting ourselves in a situation where we can really, really show out.
It is a struggle coming down the stretch, man.
Yeah, like I said before the show, they were supposed to be bad. Like the bright spots that we've seen this year, were signs of life down the road. But let's be honest, coming into the season, we knew this was going to be a bad team. I didn't expect much from it.
And everything was going so well up into January. Mm-hmm. Everything was going so well. But I will say this, for me, it's done damage. All the goodwill that was built up in January with me, and I always point back to that Boston Bruins game. The second week of January or whatever, when the Wings were 5 points behind the Bruins.
They got destroyed.
And they got destroyed in that game.
Took into the shed.
And then that was the official ending. Because we were having fun. We were flirting. We were sending text messages to the playoffs and everything like that, and DMs, and they were, they wouldn't respond to every one of them, but they'd respond just enough to keep you interested and stuff like that. But then after that, it was all over. And for me, what's happened coming down the stretch here has taken some of the bloom off of what happened earlier on in the year, because I think we were all pleasantly surprised. We were we not?
No, absolutely. Don't let the bloom go to Soderblom is the bloom you need to be looking at. I'm telling you, this, just be patient. They were supposed to be bad.
But what they did ahead of schedule to me was they went to work on the cap. The Trey Flowers thing, I thought came maybe a year quicker than originally I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
The only knock I have right now, and this is still a to be determined thing. This is just me looking at it, seeing how they talk about it, seeing what their actions are. The only potential beef I would have is they seem very loyal to Jared Goff. Now, I understand, and you guys, the viewers out there, a lot of you brought this to my attention, too, because I thought about it, but I glossed over it and didn't give it its due diligence. Was what I liked about the Goff thing was, you bring them in and then boom, in 2 years, if you don't like them, we'll get somebody else, They extended them for a year. And that was initially what I thought. Well, I don't know. Like, is he going to be their guy? Like, is he going to be that guy for them? And then some of you guys out there in our YouTube chat thread said, well, you extend him, you stretch out the signing bonus, you free up some cap space for this year. And I was like, all right, fair. I think dudes in the locker room like Goff.
Absolutely.
You hear Goff with the media. He knows what he's doing with the media.
Look at the way the year went last year. You can't say that they didn't get better or he didn't play better or that they didn't play as a team. They played hard, not only for the coach, for the quarterback. You see the interacting, everything coming out is it's great talk, and he's a great leader.